All right. Welcome to Magnus Crystal's Pyramids, family. Pardon my delay. I almost got stuck in a rainstorm, uh, which came out of nowhere. So we're gonna do the opening, and then we're gonna have our brother Dr. Alim Bey come on momentarily. So hold on. Here we go.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Welcome home, family, and join us for the fun. Colorful guests, people everywhere under the sun. Interesting conversations. Prayers first has begun. Invocation, manifestation, conversation, then will come. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramid. Let's start drinking some water, juice or tea. King Killer recommended for you and me. Guayusa mixed together, maple syrup or honey. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh.
All right. That's enough of Magnus Crystal's Pyramids. Earlier today, first I want to say thank you for joining us. Earlier today, I had the inspiration. Sometimes, you get inspiration, it just comes over you if you're quiet and receptive. And I was working on a DNA coil, which is sitting over there on the other table. And then this message came through about, we need to know who we are and our relationship to the universe and time and the past and the future. So I pulled up a book called Hermeneutic Interpretations that was written in the 1700s in France. In the beginning of the book, it's a book called Hermeneutic Interpretations by Fabre d'Olivier. In the beginning of the book, it describes the oldest race on this planet is, of course, the black race. But we didn't call ourselves black. Oh, you heard that thunder? That was a lightning strike. We didn't call ourselves Negroes. We didn't call ourselves Africans. We called ourselves masters of the universe. So while we're waiting for Dr. Alim Bey, I'm going to bring up this and see if it matches your DNA memory. And the name of this is called DNA, Atlantean DNA. And I want you to check this out. And I hope this is helpful for your personal empowerment and activation while we're waiting on Dr. Alim Bey. Now this is factual.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. This is history song to know your name, ancient words, your ancestral fame. Long ago, before the great fall, blacks called themselves Atlanteans, proud and keen. Here was their power source, they did say, no, no. I am that I am was the source of their power. They would say, activation of divine love power within DNA. A title they traveled beneath and beyond the galaxies, too many stars above. Masters of the universe, a name everyone called and respectfully spoke of. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe, from ancient birth. Here was their power source, they did say, Nuku, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power, they would say. Activation of divine love power within DNA. In an age long past, so the old tales say, the white race wandered in a savage way. No laws, no arts, no fields to sow. Near the boreal pole was all they knew. The black race, ancient, mighty and wise, held science and power beneath the skies. Across great Africa and Asia's land, they shaped their world with a guiding hand. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe, from ancient birth. Here was their power source, they did say, Nuke, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power, they would say. Activation of divine love power within DNA.
Atlanteans.
The yellow race in the east was found, where ancient kingdoms once did abound, while remnants of the red race stayed on mountain peaks where their shadows lay. A terrible catastrophe swept the land, leaving only a scattered weekend band. Yet memories lingered of days gone by when the nation stretched beneath the sky. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe, from ancient birth. Here was their power source, they did say, Nuke, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power, they would say. Activation of divine love power within DNA. The red race once held the western sphere. The yellow race ruled the east far and near. The black race sovereign on the equatorial line. Its influence vast, its achievements fine. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe, from ancient birth. Here was their power source, they did say, Nuke, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power, they would say. Activation of divine love power within DNA. While these powers across earth rolled, the white race wandered through the northern cold, just bringing forth in history scroll near the boreal pole their ancient goal. Through wise interpreters the message came to be seen. The blacks called themselves Atlanteans, proud and keen, a title they carried beneath the stars above. Masters of the universe, a name they proudly spoke. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe, from ancient birth. Here was their power source, they did say, Nuke, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power, they would say. Activation of divine love power within DNA. the world. So the ancient stories say, masters of all creation, gliding with across the boundless heavens. Their legend would traverse, bearing the noble title, masters of the universe.
You ready, Doc?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, family. Want to first acknowledge all our ascended masters who came before us: Enoch, the Ethiopian, Melchizedek, Elijah, Yahshua, Black Madonna, and the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko. Also, I want to acknowledge Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrafal. I want to acknowledge Black Madonna, Mother Mary, because upon their shoulders, we have our existence. I want to acknowledge Archangel Michael to surround and protect all our family, friends, and loved ones. Sanat Kumara. I want to acknowledge Saint Germain, Nikolai Tesla, Imhotep, Ptahotep, Akhenaten, Chief Nat Turner, Chief John Brown, Seraphis Bey, Lady Buddha, Lady Krishna, and the forces of nature within us. Ilegba, Oshun, Yemaya, Oya, Ologun, Shango, Ogun, Obatala, Orumila, Ochosi. And we say, Ashe, Mahalo, Donada, Wado. So let it be spoken, so let it be done. Welcome, Doc. Welcome back to Magnus Crystal's Pyramids, man.
Greetings.
You got happening in the lab, man. I know you're in the lab somewhere.
Yeah,
family.
Everybody want to know what was that song you was playing there, Masters of the Universe, the Black Atlanteans.
Yo, that was based on the book. It just hit me today to put together, take it a part of the book called Hermeneutic Interpretations that was written in the 1700s in France by author named Fabre d'Olivier. And he said the oldest race on this planet is the black race, and they defined themselves as masters of the universe. And they had total dominion, not over the planet, over the universe, and was known throughout the galaxies as Atlanteans. And At means master, Lant means universe, and that book was translated into English in 1915.
Right.
So I used our technology to pull it, a verse out of the book, and then put it to music through Suno with a nice bass line, and it's basically saying, this is who you are. You're Black Atlanteans. And that's what he said. So I put in the description Atlantean DNA, and that's what we are, Doc. You, me, we, in the spirit of Ubuntu, we are the fruit of our Atlantean masters of the universe.
That's right.
What do you think about that, Doc?
I think it's 100% correct. I love it.
Man, I want you to take the mic, do it, share with you, May. I'm just going to sit here. I want to get some water to hydrate, because I got caught a little bit in a thunderstorm. It's clearing up now, but it came out of nowhere, man. It was like whirls and wind, and it was whipping. It was great. So, family, put in the comments where you're listening from, and we'll post it if it's okay with Dr. Alim Bey as you talk. I like that title of your show, man. I like the title of the show.
Yeah.
What you talking about, that ET stuff, brother? What's going on?
Oh yeah, we got to talk about it. That's one of the things that TikTok and everybody is talking about right now. So we got to get it in and explain as much of it as possible.
I just saw they just released on YouTube a clip that says cats were brought here by Anunnaki from another galaxy.
There we go.
I was like, whoa, my little putty cats in ET. Yo, family, look it up.
Hey, it makes sense because they have reptilian DNA. They got their eyes go slit. But lions, tigers, and leopards and panthers, their eyes don't go slit. Their eyes stay round.
I never thought
Right.
about that.
And plus cats hiss just like a snake.
Wow. And they say the reason they stare at stuff we can't see is they are guardians of the
That's right.
areas.
That's right.
Like then there's areas that might be in your apartment or your house or your office that cats can see portals, and they're the guardians of the portal, so no funky stuff happens.
That's right.
And we got some miseducated Negroes say, you shouldn't have a cat, and family, know the facts. The Anunnaki, and you know what, Doc? I'm going to ask you this question. Was the Anunnaki black folks?
Of course.
Boom! Whoa.
Of course. And we get ready to go over that. Yeah, there it is. We get ready to go right into it.
Wow. All right, let me go get some water. You got the mic, brother. I'll be right back.
All right, got you. All right, for those that don't know, this is Planetary Genesis, Stargate DNA, and Human Extraterrestrial Origin. This is my new book. Y'all need to go get it. The one to the left was going to be the original cover for the book, because this is where I first seen a UFO hovering over top of my head about 100 yards up. And it was in Coney Island. When I was living in Coney Island, I was 9 years old. The building that is to the far left was my building. And as I was walking back from the grocery store, a UFO just like this one that you see here hovered over top of my head, and the lights were going in and out around the saucer, as we would call it, in the colors of the rainbow. All right. So this is a projection or a picture of what took place at that time. The one on the right is the actual cover of the book. So Planetary Genesis, Stargate DNA, and Human Extraterrestrial Origin. So we're going to get into the real sciences of who's who on planet Earth. The U.S. government has recovered 4 alien species from UFOs, say ex-CIA researcher. Okay, this is who we now refer to as the CIA. The CIA's. This is what was said. This is from one of the researchers. Says people who have been involved in recoveries have said that there are at least 4 types. Now, I have not had direct access to that, but I believe the people who I talked to, 4 separate types of life. CIA researcher Hal Putoff, all right, claim on the Diary of a CIA podcast. So this is where this information come from. Said the United States government has recovered 4 species of aliens from crashed UFOs. A former CIA researcher has claimed. All right. And who are these 4? They tell you about the Greys, the Nordics, the insectoids, as well as also the reptilians. We're gonna get into some of this information. I'm not going to be dealing too much with the Nordics and with the insectoids, because the Nordics, as they say, is about 7 feet tall. The tall whites, as they refer to them as. I have not personally had any experience with them, so I won't talk about them. I have had experience with the reptilians, as well as also with other extraterrestrials in which that are here on planet Earth, in which that you got that right. In which that you might not even know that you are one. So go ahead.
You got me excited. Yo, one time I was facilitating an ayahuasca. Right. And this brother, he literally told me his experience was he was on a reptilian spaceship. This was a brother. Right. I'm talking about a Nubian brother, had locks, right? Mm-hmm. He said that in the ayahuasca, he saw that he was on like a ship, like a predator ship, but it was reptilians, and they were all bowing while he was walking down the aisle. And then when he saw his reflection, he saw he was like a commander he was a reptilian commander of a spaceship. So
Right.
what you're saying is absolutely correct.
Oh
And
yeah.
then
Oh
one
yeah.
more thing, I'm gonna share one more thing, brother.
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
I was in Hawaii on the island of Molokai, family, I went to a Hawaiian ceremony. And the
Right.
brother at that time, his name was Bill Kapuni. He's an ancestor. He slid a reptilian carved stone across the floor. And he said, "This is our God." And they live inside the island of the Hawaiian Islands. Inside is hollowed out because of the volcanoes. And that's where the reptilians live. And they run stuff from inside the Hawaiian Islands. You still there? Oh, shoot. I think he froze up. Doc, I think you froze up. Let me see if you coming through or not. Yeah, he froze up, family. Hold on a second. And then I want to acknowledge Credo Mutwa, who also said you got reptilians that live inside of the continent of Africa. And according to Credo Mutwa, they were the ones that forced the African kings. They were teleported into the African kings' bedrooms to force them to accept the Europeans. So this is some deep stuff. Dr. Alim Bey just he lost his internet connection, and hopefully he's going to be back momentarily. I hope they ain't messing with his connection with his information, but he's going to be back shortly. But yeah, and then you have Kundalini, which we have a reptilian brain stem. It's called a reptilian brain stem. So we might have a reptilian in our blood, or you might even know somebody that Chitari. Thank you. Yep, that's what Credo Mutwa said. They call them the Chitari. They the reptilians that live inside of Africa, pushing the agenda to have Africans accept the Europeans when they came, because the African empires were too strong. But the reptilians live like hundreds of years longer. They're way more intelligent than us surface species. And we're still waiting on Dr. Alim Bey to come back. Also, been listening to the latest documents of the Sumerian tablets. What they're saying is that human race was a genetic creation from the Anunnaki for the purpose of slave labor. So, we were given worship genes to look, we got to worship somebody, whether it's Abrahamic religions or a rock or something external. We had a hack of our DNA, of our chromosomes. And then originally we were living like Moses and Noah and Adam, hundreds of years. And these gangster ETs known as Anunnaki and some of the lords that you find in the Bible that said, "Let us create man in our image, after our likeness." They hacked our DNA so that we only live 120 years instead of 1,000 or more, because they were afraid that we were going to become equal as them. And that's what the meaning of the paraphrasing, eating the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The gods in the Bible didn't want humans to be equal, but you still had messages like Psalms 82:6 say, "Ye are gods," and then like you had these fallen gods that was jealous, and then you had what's his name, Enlil. He was an Anunnaki, and then his brother was, according to the stories, Enlil wanted to kill all the humans because he was afraid or feared. Like, I think we've overcreated these humans. We want to wipe them out with a flood, a mass flood. So we're going to create a flood to wipe out humanity. And then his brother, I forgot his brother's name, Enki. Yeah, thank you. Enki gave a heads up to the humans and said, "Listen, it's going to be a flood. Y'all got to get ready, get on the high ground." And we survived. but our DNA was hacked because we were over engineered to be basically a mass population of ascended masters, a mass population of Buddhas, enlightened beings, a mass population of Krishnas, a mass population of supernatural beings living on the planet. And these jealous scientific extraterrestrials wanted humans just to be slaves for the purpose of removing gold from the planet so they could save their planet's atmosphere, because they needed gold. Like you see how they doing chemtrails on the in our atmosphere. Well, they needed gold in their atmosphere to save their planetary life. So they created humans because the Anunnaki workers were about to protest and rolled up on their homes and offices saying, look, we're overworked and we're going to turn on you. So they say, okay, we're going to make a slave species, and that's what humans are, a slave species. And then they say, okay, now just like you hacking, we're sort of like in Stone Age right now with DNA manipulation, but they actually created. And I got to give Billy Carson credit for this one because he brought it to mass awareness. There's a worship gene that Enlil put in the human chromosome so that you would say, praise God, whatever name you want to use. Praise this God. Praise that God. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Praise a God outside of me. Yo, it was a viral hack of your divinity. A viral hack to worship externally. That's a viral hack they did to humanity. I got to see what happened to Dr. Alim Bey. Hold on a second. Let me see what happened, man. I think, don't tell me they hacked this stuff. Let me see. Maybe he's restarting. Hold on. I'm going to call him right now for y'all. Hold on. Let me call Doc.
Please leave your message for
Oh, man. Even his phone? Hold on. Let me try that again. What in the world? Maybe a lightning strike knocked out his electricity. Yo, it's going.
Please leave your message for.
Yo, I'm gonna say, where are you? Hold on, y'all. Doc, where are you? Okay, so I gotta hold it down while Doc is coming back. If you'd like, I would play that song that's talking about the history that the Black Atlanteans were masters of the universe. I just did this. Oh, CIA listening. Huh. Yo, you might be right. You might be right. But anyway, for all who are listening, y'all want to put it in your comments. I want to acknowledge everybody who has commented so far. Let me see. I want to thank Harish71. I want to thank Adventure with Drew. All right, Adventure with Drew. He said he got a copper bracelet with magnets in it since last show. I'm loving this type of tech. You can feel it. Exactly. Okay. I want to acknowledge, love the sacred geometry. Adventure Drew. Nuke Poo Nuke. Yep. That's it. Fire. Adventure with Drew. Thank you. Thank you. VGQ Power 2515. Thank you for your service. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Harish 71, thank you. He said half snake, cat, half snake. Yo, I'm telling you, cats are not ordinary beings. They're like mystics. Rasher, you king, peace family, preach master teacher. Thank you. Stray Panther, thank you. Anki, yep. Thank you. All right. So while we're waiting for Dr. Alim Bey to come back on, I'm going to play this documentary song, and that's what it is. It's a documentary song. I didn't write it. I pulled. The only thing I did was add the bars to it, and the bars is here. It is right here. I added the bars, but this is a documentary song. Okay, Raquel Sphere, thank you for joining us. All right, so while we're waiting for Dr. Alim Bey to come back on, I want to play this song so that see if this matches your memory. Sometimes you can feel truth of things. So I want to put this up. I want you to hear this. This is the full version, just released today. And we're going to play this until Doc comes back. All right. So here we go. We're going to play this. Listen to the words.
This is history song to know your name, ancient words, your ancestral fame. Long ago, before the great fall, blacks called themselves Atlanteans, proud and keen. Here was their power source, they did say, no, no. I am that I am was the source of their power. They would say, activation of divine love power within DNA. A title they traveled beneath and beyond the galaxies, too many stars above. Masters of the universe, a name everyone called and respectfully spoke of. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe. From ancient birth, here was their power source. They did say, Nuku, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power. They would say, activation of divine love power within DNA. In an age long past, so the old tales say, the white race wandered in a savage way. No laws, no arts, no fields to sow. Near the boreal pole was all they knew. The black race, ancient, mighty and wise, held science and power beneath the skies. Across great Africa and Asia's land, they shaped their world with a guiding hand. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe. From ancient birth, here was their power source. They did say, Nuke, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power. They would say, activation of divine love power within DNA. The yellow race in the east was found, where ancient kingdoms once did abound, while remnants of the red race stayed on mountain peaks where their shadows lay. A terrible catastrophe swept the land, leaving only a scattered weekend band. Yet memories lingered of days gone by when the nation stretched beneath the sky. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe. From ancient birth, here was their power source. They did say, Nuke, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power. They would say, activation of divine love power within DNA. The red race once held the western sphere. The yellow race ruled the east far and near. The black race sovereign on the equatorial line. Its influence vast, its achievements fine. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew their word. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe. From ancient birth, here was their power source. They did say, Nuke. I am that I am was the source of their power. They would say, activation of divine love power within DNA. While these powers across Earth roll, the white race wandered through the northern cold, just springing forth in history scroll near the boreal pole, their ancient goal. Through wise interpreters, the message came to be seen. The blacks called themselves Atlantans, proud and keen, a title they carry beneath the stars above. Masters of the universe, a name they probably spoke. Black Atlanteans. Masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans. They knew their word. Black Atlanteans. Masters of the universe. Masters of the universe. From ancient birth, here was their power source. They did say, look you, look it, I am that I am. Was the source of their power, they would say. Activation of divine love power within DNA. Atlanteans they were, so the ancient stories say, masters of all creation, light and wisdom's way, across the boundless heavens, their legend would traverse, bearing the noble title, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Black Atlanteans, they knew they were. Black Atlanteans, masters of the universe. Masters of the universe. From ancient birth, here was their power source. They did say, look it, I am that I am. Was the source of their power. They would say, activation of divine love power within DNA.
All right. Okay, fam. Let me turn this off. Okay, I'm still waiting for Dr.Alim Bey to reconnect. Let me try calling him again because it was strange. He was just getting into it, and all of a sudden, everything on his side dropped. I don't know. Makes you wonder, is somebody trying to block his message? Makes you wonder because that's a heck of a title he had for tonight's show, He started with the 3-letter alphabet organization. So here we go. I'm going to call him now. Oh, it's ringing.
Thanks.
Doc, what happened?
I don't know. I'll get back on now. Peace.
Okay, I'm holding it down. You got a whole packed family list waiting on you.
All right. I'm coming now.
Okay, tell the family. He said he's coming. Y'all heard him. Okay.
Yep, I'm coming now.
All right. Yo, so while we waiting, I want to share this with you that you can do this on your own if you're ready to reactivate your DNA. You can do it simple. Making twist copper. We like copper, but twist it with zinc. Pure zinc. All right. So while we're waiting for Doc to come in, I want you to check out this because you can make this zinc and copper twist. And what it will do is activate your divine DNA that they call junk DNA, activate your superpowers, your gifts, your innate abilities. Zinc and copper will activate your supernatural faculties. So while we're waiting, I'm going to play this because we're in the lab over here and I want you to take the ball and run with it. All right. Superpower DNA activation by using zinc and copper twisted together. All right. Here we go. All right. I think this is it. Hold on. Wait a second. I think this is the wrong one. Maybe it's the right one. Let me see. Yeah, this is it. So family, simple. You don't necessarily have to do psychedelics. You can literally twist. You see he has rods of copper and zinc, one in each palm. This is so he can maintain superior intelligence. And you, with, there it is, zinc and copper, twisted together, and you can get it on Amazon. You can create a bracelet. or you can twist it and make a pendant to wear around your neck. See, this is a bracelet I have, and this is the documented benefits of copper and zinc for the body, antioxidant activation. So think about getting zinc, pure zinc wire, and that's 1.7 millimeters. You can get it on Amazon, and 1.5 millimeters of soft copper. And that's my cat tuning into what I was doing. So you can twist and create, so you don't have to walk around with two pipes. Here's a version of the zinc and copper that you can create, my brothers and sisters, and you can also create that for family, friends, loved ones, so that they can get the energy for regeneration of the cells, maybe even the chromosomes. So that's the research of, and I want to give a special acknowledgement to Ross Ben, who introduced to me what is called tensor coils. That's where you twist two copper together. But it seems that doing two different metals is even better. Having copper and zinc twisted together promotes antioxidant energy in the body. So I've been wearing antioxidant bracelet. It feels good, and it helps you recover from injuries. This is a large pendant of zinc and copper, and then I made a smaller one. Okay, so that's what I have on my neck, and you can experience. I like doing like 6 wraps or 6 rotations, so it's like either 6 or 7 times wrapped around. You can wrap around a pencil or a wooden rod dowel, and you can benefit from feeling and experiencing like some kind of natural mystic activation within you and those you care about, because it's all about the DNA. You can do it, my brothers and sisters. You can get a pair of pliers. You can get copper, soft zinc, and twist. Take your time with it, twisting it together, and then coiling it. And this is sort of like what is called harmonic resonance or morphic resonance, replicating the twist and the spiral of our DNA. So you can promote your growth and acceleration by using soft copper, about 2 millimeters inside, and soft zinc, which is 1.5 millimeters. And you will experience more energy, more vitality, more insights, more so-called magical experience, many miracles in your day, throughout your day. So Alim Bey Doctor is trying to get back on. We're just being patient and just sharing with you some homework that can be fun and fascinating, and you can literally activate yourself beyond imagination. All right, here's Doc right here. All right, so let me get this out of here. Doc, welcome back.
Hey.
Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Doc, man, that was crazy.
Yeah. I guess they don't want this information out.
Woo, boy. Well, welcome back, brother. And I held it down. I was, sharing with them,
right.
little tidbits. So yeah, go ahead. Pick up what you was talking about. You was getting ready to go in. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah,
you got it.
Ready to. So Planetary Genesis, Stargate DNA, and the Human Extraterrestrial Origin is my new book. Check it out. All right, so we go to U.S. government has recovered 4 alien species from UFOs. This is according to an ex-CIA researcher. All right, the 4 are the Greys, the Nordics, the Insectoids, and the Reptilians. This is what Nancy Red Star spoke about within her book, Star Ancestors. She says this. She says, when it was time to populate the Earth, many spirits came from other planets. As the spirits entered the atmosphere, they took on the atomic structure, which formed into a body. When we exit, we dematerialize the atomic structure. All right. Now, this also is according to the Bible, Job 9:9, and it says Sirius, Orion, Pleiades, Arcturus. And according to the indigenous and native traditions, the majority of the souls came from stars, planets, which resided within Sirius, Orion, Pleiades, Arcturus, Draco, Mars, Venus, and etc., and projected via Macabre, all right, the counterfield of light of the spiritual soul into physical form on Earth, and to the stars we return after physical death. Matter of fact, we know that because it is called the astral plane. The term astral means star plane. So the word astral is star. All right.
Wow.
And so, get this book, Oracle of the Illuminati by William Henry. He speaks about the fact that the Ka was an etheric or ethereal projection or the double of the person, and a perfect likeness. The Ba, the soul, was portrayed as a bird, while the Ku, the luminous or glorified body, was the spark of divine fire. The Ka and the immortal self represents or remains with the body, but the Ka and the Ku left it to follow the gods. Though they kept continuously returning, body, soul, and spirit seem to have been represented. Get this book, Humans Are Not From Earth, a scientific evaluation of the evidence. This is by Ellis Silver, PhD. This is him to the left. In there, he speaks about that there are 223 alien genes. 223 alien genes in your body. All right. We know on February 15th, 2001, the National Human Genome Research Institute International Human Genome Sequencing Consortium announced that discovery of a enigma, 223 non-human genes found within the human genome. Now, these genes are part of the non-coded DNA known as also called the junk DNA. All right.
Wow.
Now, this scientist here, as you see, his name is Professor Chang. This is him to the right. Scientists find extraterrestrial genes in human DNA. All right. April the 28th, 2007. Now, let's talk about that for a moment. What are these alien genes? Well, we know that according to, quote unquote, the teachings of the Gnostics, they talk about Ogo, who was the son of Sophia, equals Set, which equals the devil, who equals Adalabroth, which equals Yahweh. All right. Now, within the Sumerian tales, that would be Enlil. All right. Now, this is what African presence in early Asia speak of. This is by Renoka Rashidi, who did the editing, in which that this is Ivan von Sunema, his book. He says, in Egyptian, Yah is the moon god, and Wa means increasing or growing, meaning Yahweh, the growing moon. This admits to several interpretations. Yahweh or Yaha, or Yahweh could be a lunar form of the great mother goddess, in which the growing represents her in her pregnant aspect, as Yahweh can be her son. Now, Yahweh is Adalabroth, who broke out from the mother goddess principle known as Sophia. Okay? Now, this is the important part right here. Get this out the way. All right. Another clue to this ancient Hebrew lunar mythos comes from the word Jew itself, which in Hebrew is Yahuda or Yahudi. This is nearly identical to the Egyptian Jehudi, which is the name of the most important of the Egyptian lunar deities, Thoth, or who we call Tahudi. All right. In his original aspect, Yahweh or Yahweh can have been one or all the deities listed above: Isis, Heru, Khonsu, Osiris, or Thoth or Tahudi. But after Sinai, he became the sole, all right, exclusive male god of Moses, from which are derived the theologies of the three major Western religions: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. All right. So
What you saying? Jehudi could be the root of the Abrahamic religions.
that is the root. Right.
Man, that's powerful. And according to the Emerald Tablets, Thoth or Jehudi led an armada of Atlantean ships.
He was the Atlantean that went into Egypt.
Yes,
exactly. But he was from here.
Yeah,
This was the homeland for Thoth or Tahudi, who was also known as Quetzalcoatl,
right,
who was also
Right.
known as Kukulkan,
right.
Tasha. You know, in the
Yeah.
Bible, he's Enoch. His angelic name is Metatron.
Man, this is deep.
All right. So this is what we have right here, is that Yah-ha-va-ha or Yahweh is the CATG, which is the cytosine, adenine, thymine, and guanine, which are the nucleic acids that determines the complex process of heredity. So Yahweh, which is Adalabroth, the god of the material world, who formed the physical body, is encoded inside of your DNA. Okay, and this is important because we're going to continue finding out other names. The sequence of the 4 base or nucleotides, all right, is CATG, gives the genetic message codes for all forms of life evolved. The ring of the DNA spiral ladder. DNA is another form of you go to the Bible, Genesis 28:12. Behold, a ladder set up on the earth. The top of it reached the heavens, and behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it.
Doc, that's deep, because we were just talking about how you could twist copper and zinc to replicate DNA and maybe even activate the DNA like that. I just played a song before while we was waiting for you, man.
I know you did. I'm sure you
on
did.
the same page, bro.
Hey, that's why I asked you about the song that you first played, Masters of the Universe, because that's what it's going to go into.
Buckle your seatbelt, family.
That's right. So right here, we see the physical body is in the image of Yahweh. All right? Which, as you see here to the left. So we find out that inside of the DNA, there is a written script in which that is Yahweh. This is it here to the right. This is how it looks.
Wow.
All right. As you can see, the chemical equations written above it, below it, and on the side. That is DNA. So Yahweh, which is encoded or scriptured within your body, symbolizes the architect of heaven, earth, and the fastener of the bodies of men. This is encoded inside of you. The Egyptian form also of Yahweh, as we said, is Tahudi, but it is also Ptah. All right.
Amazing.
So, the body is held together by sound. The presence of disease indicates that some sounds have gone out of tune. So we find out that each organ has a specific frequency. MHZ, the millihertz. So here we have the brain 70 to 78, thyroid 62 to 68, lungs 58 to 65, thymus 65 to 68, heart 67 to 70, spleen 60 to 80, liver 55 to 60, stomach 58 to 65, colon 70 to 78. So that is the average body frequencies. All right. And there are 7 tones in which that can be utilized to activate each chakra or each endocrine gland in which that resonates over top of the particular organs or glands. All right. The sound is I, E, A, Ha, O, U. All right, these are the sounds that helps to activate the chakras, and in doing so, we find that the primary function of DNA is electromagnetic reception and transmission. Less than 10% of your DNA functions involve protein manufacture. More than 90% functions in the realm of bioacoustics and bioelectric signaling. This is according to Dr. Lynn Horowitz. So 90% is bioacoustics. What is bioacoustics? It means living sound. Bioelectric signaling means living electricity. All right. So we go to the waking times. Is human DNA reprogrammable with light, sound, frequency, and vibration? Of course it is. All right. We know that because of the name of the show of Brother Hank Show.
Magnets, crystals, pyramids.
There we go. As though to confirm the hunch many of us had that our junk DNA was anything but disposable. Researchers from gene and stem cell therapy programs at Sydney Centenary Institute has proven that 97% of human DNA programs or encodes proteins in our bodies. Of the researchers involved in this study say this discovery involves what was previously referred to as junk, opens up a whole new level of gene expression control. So now we know that sound can actually change the programming of the body.
That's why they always messing with our music.
Light, sound, frequency, and vibration. The music at one time was natural, which was 432 hertz. Now it's 440 hertz, which is more aggressive.
Yeah, that trap music and stuff.
That's right. That's right.
They don't play it in their communities.
No.
They perpetuate that, trying to suppress our communities.
That's right. That's right. So that leads us to epigenetics, which was a term in which that was popularized by Bruce Lipton. This is him to the left. 1/3 of all healing occurs without anything other than having a positive thought. All right.
Wow.
So he goes on in his book, The Biology of Belief, promotes the idea that genes and DNA can be manipulated by a person's belief. A Russian biophysicist by the name of Petar Goroji research reveals that DNA can be reprogrammed by words and frequencies, opening up a whole new arena in medicine. Once again, this is what they're telling us. So we find out that the human body of light, this is written by Mitchell Gibson, MD. He said that according to that the Tibetan monks was able to transform their bodies into light, and they was chanting Om Aham Vajra Guru Pima Siddhi Hum. Om Aham Vajra Guru Pima Siddhi Hum. That becomes the chant or the mantra or the sound, or as we would say here, the manipulation of the DNA, which it can be reprogrammed by words and frequencies. That is the
Yo.
word of frequency in which that can change the physical body from material to immaterial, from
Doc,
corrupted to incorrupted. Yes.
the ancient Atlantean Egyptian word nuk pu nuk
Nuke. That's
means
right.
I am that I am.
I am that which
That's
that I
deep.
am. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's the same as within Hebrew when Moses was at the bush and he asked the burning bush, which was not burning, who shall I say that sent me? And the bush replied, I am that which that I am. Iya Asher Iya. Asher means or saw.
Wow.
Yeah, Asher is or saw. So here we also have another one, Ba Bak Banu, which means the soul is transformed into a fiery bird. All right. This mantra is sung at the pace of the heartbeat. Ba Bak Banu, Ba Bak Banu, Ba Bak Banu, Ba Bak Banu. All right. So another one is Ra Neter Atif Nefer, which means God's sun rays in nature are gracious to me. This is the way in which that you bring more chi or prana or ki into your body while in the sun. You're drawing it to you. All right. This is where it says that the life-giving warmth of the sun and the protection power over the lower self. So this helps to activate the higher self. Eventually, you want the body of light, which is this here to the right. All right. And that it comes through the activation of your bioplasmic body. All right. Now, this is important because this is part of your macabre. And this is something in which that if you go and read the Zulu Bone Oracle, in which that Baba Krita Mutwa wrote about, in there, he said the Zulu claim Earth as their seventh world. In their sixth world, the planet Mars, the forerunner of the Zulu in all southern African tribes, were severely threatened by a powerful foe from another world and saw the chance of saving themselves was slim indeed. Now, doesn't it sound like the same Superman story?
Yep.
He says they proceeded to prepare their weapons and then went one step further in the attempt to save the race. The fairest, beautiful, not paleness, of all the women was impregnated by their menfolk, and they placed into a circular flying vehicle, each with 3 wheels. These space vehicles are known throughout Central and Southern Africa as Merkabas or
Wow.
Merkabas. The Merkaba was sent off on a course to Earth, and thus were the women transported to safety on this planet to give birth to their offsprings and continue the race.
Wow.
Okay? Furthermore, this story has been scientifically verified. Scientists discovered human circadian rhythm is set to the planet Mars, not to Earth.
What? I ain't
Yeah.
never heard that before.
Oh, it's all right. We're gonna get to a whole lot more. In the book Life and Death on Mars, written by John Bradenberg. This is his book right here. Life and Death on Mars, right here at the bottom on the right. He says, PhD now, so this ain't no Rudy Poo. Mass extinction and nuclear catastrophe on Mars. Astrophysicist Bradenberg say that Mars was actually Earth-like for most of its geologic history. We are biologically and culturally the children of Mars. Now, this is the exact same thing that Krita Mutwa just said, that we claim Earth as our seventh planet, but we lived on Mars prior to coming here.
Wow.
All right? Now, get this book, The Ancient Secrets of the Flower of Life, written by Travalo Melchizedek. They send him to the left, and he speaks about the activation of what we now refer to as the Merkaba or Merkaba. All right.
Wow.
Dr. York spoke about the Merkaba, in which that you can transform your auric field into a ship or a light vehicle. And it says the ascension is achievable when you unify through your heart center all your chakras into one and balance the threefold flame. That threefold flame is what is known by Krita Mutwa. He called it the 3 wheels. Remember, he said a circular flying craft, each with 3 wheels. Well, it says right here, ascension is achievable when you unify through your heart center all your chakras into one and balance the threefold flame within your heart, where God is through the universal Omni Merkaba of love of multiple light bodies activation. This is written by Yogi Sarananda. All right.
That's
Now,
ama- that's amazing.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So right here we got the how to do it. For those that want to learn how to do it, you will have to take this picture right now because I'm not going to read it. All right. First breath, second breath, third, fourth, fifth, all the way to what we now call the 18 breath technique. There's also a 24 breath technique and a 28 breath technique. All right. And you can learn these techniques in order to activate your Merkaba, just like we did on Mars to bring our asses here to Earth. Okay. So, Master Fard Muhammad and his messenger Elijah Muhammad taught that our solar system has 7 inhabited planets. Master Fard Muhammad, in his 34 problem book, names 2 of the 7 inhabited planets, in which that he spoke about Mars and Mercury. Mars and Mercury. We now know that Saturn, along with its moon Titan of Saturn, Earth moon, Venus, Europa, the moon of Jupiter, in which that at one time was Meldic, and his moon Melona, which got blown up. They was destroyed, and the remnants is now the asteroid belt. And those spirits that get destroyed from that nuclear waste on Moldic and Melona came here to the planet Earth and had to finish their incarnation. Now, we made bodies for them. This is why we humanized the monkey species to give them. So you see, the monkey species was humanized, and they became known as the great ape species. So you find that the orangutan has 3 DNA series. The gorilla has 4 DNA series. The chimpanzee has 5 DNA series. And the European and Asians have 6 DNA series. Humans have 7 DNA series. The Anunnaki have 8 DNA series. And the Syrian beings, who are above them all, had 9 DNA series. They have the highest potential for intelligence and the highest potential for manifestation. All right, so we get to Sirius now. Now, in the Bible, in the Quran, we have in the Surah 49, the Surah Al-Najm. Al-Najm means the star. All right, the fact that the word Sirius or Shara in Arabic appears only in the 49th verse. And what does it say? It says that Allah is the Lord of the mighty star Sirius. All right. Now you go to Freemasonry and the path to Sirius. They call it the blazing star. Within the female Freemasonic system is known the Eastern Star. That's what it is. The Eastern Star is Sirius. Once again. All right. So Freemasonry and the Eastern Stars both speaks of the path to Sirius. So we have Sirius, which is Sirius A, Ziggy Tolo, Sirius B, Po Tolo, and Sirius C, Emiya Tolo. All right. From an implosion that occurred at Sirius B, we formed, this is how our solar system was formed, was from an implosion of Sirius B. So really we are the reincarnated beings from the star constellation Sirius, from the star Sirius B.
Wow.
All right. Now we also have what's called Nantolo, which is Nibiru or Neberu. The planet orbiting around Sirius C is known as the home of the gods. Now, Sirius C, along with Nan Tolo, travels here to the planet Earth, towards the planet Earth every 3,600 years. This is what was told according to the 12th planet by Zachariah Ascension. All right, you get Bobby's book, The Melanin People, White Luciferian Revealed Their Secrets. And this is what it said. Blacks came from the star Sirius, which in the modern day called heaven. In fact, Orion is when you translate Orion, which is his Greco-Latin, it means heaven. All right. So you get the book, The Sirius Mysteries by Robert Temple. And he speaks about the fact of our own solar system seem to be referenced to as Ogo placenta, because Ogo placenta meaning that our sun broke out from Sirius B, which was Sophia, according to the Gnostic scriptures. Whereas the system of the star Sirius and its companion star and satellites, etc., is referred to as Nomo placenta. Nomo is the collective name for the great culture hero and founder of civilization who came from the Sirius system to set up society on the earth. Now, Nomo is the original Christ, all right? Or to be more precise, the Nomos were amphibious creatures, and as to be seen in the two tribal drawings in figure 32 and 34 in that book. These Nomos are more or less equivalent with the Sumerians and Babylonian traditions of Onans. All right, get the book Sirius Connection, get the book Pale Fox. Now go to Explore Race Origin in the next 50 years. And this is Robert Shapiro, and this is what he says. I'm not going to read everything, but here he says, but in fact, the real source of feminine mother energy is Sirius. The dark-skinned people are all rooted from Sirius. If anything happens to them in any way that they don't feel welcome here, the murmuring will begin among them as well. All right. In other words, if we leave, the earth is in trouble. Because as we just seen, we do have the ability in order to jump planets, utilizing the macabre. Now, this is his other book, Explore Race, Earth, History, and Lost Civilizations. When Earth was in Sirius. So Earth is a child of Sirius. Long ago, when the planet was still in Sirius system, the surface of the planet, the contours was similar, not exactly the same, but similar. Some of the mountains you have now were much taller. Some were still growing. Perhaps the most striking difference was that much of the planet was covered by water. Matter of fact, it was up to about 90% water, which symbolized the same as if you watch Kevin Costner in Waterworld. About 90% of the Earth at one time was water. That's when it was called Tiamat. All right.
Wow.
Now get Explorer Race Origin in the next 50 years. And he says, I'm presenting the origin of dark-skinned people on Earth because they are so unique to the founding of your culture here. They are really functioning as a living, walking, talking connection between this planet and Sirius, and to a lesser degree to Orion. If anything happens, they decide to return to Sirius and Orion, and they have the capacity to do so over a period of about 8,000 years, 10,000 max. All right, the Earth, the energy coming from Sirius and Orion will gradually halt. In other words, the Earth will be doomed because we are the masters of the universe. The Explorer Race. Who was first? I would say that the Syrians, both positive and negative, were here about the same time. They were the founding beings. Sirius has been involved in the beginning of the seeding of this planet in the creation of the dark-skinned races. The area of the Pleiades, all right, I'll go down. The Sirius created beings here, the Tone civilization, and the offshoots involve Jehovah's group, Yahweh. Remember, we just talked about Yahweh, and other representatives from very positive and loving places on Sirius who followed Jehovah millions of years later. Some has one thing in common: dark skin. The pale skin did not alone did not come along until a whole lot later. Okay, and we know that. We know that they only came on the planet in the form that they're in right now about 3,000 years ago. But the receptivity of those genes, blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin or pale skin, vitiligo, that started to originate around 6,000 to 8,000 years ago.
That's
But
why that's why they only just say creation is only
Right.
6,000 years old, because
Right.
that's when they got around.
right, exactly.
Ain't that something?
Yep.
Newbies saying, "Excuse me, planet. It hasn't started since we were here."
Right, exactly.
In Elmer Fudd's voice.
Exactly. Wesley Rabbit.
Yeah.
The Akan, Other Africans and Sirius Star System. Get that book. All right. Let's read this. Therefore, we are the extraterrestrials. Something extra from the astral plane to Terra Earth from Sirius, or etc., which the Earth, Tiamat, daughter Earth, Mother Nature. All right, this go to Sister Myra L. Itself is a remnant self. The sun was formed from Sirius B implosion, nebula gas material in our planet from the cast off solar plasmic energy. The etheric Syrians are the sole group that was given Earth as their new home when their former home Sirius B imploded. When Earth ascended, when the Earth ascends, the etheric Syrians will take over as guardians of their home. The majority of etheric Syrians are found among the so-called black, brown, and red, in other words, melanated races on Earth.
Wow.
Okay? That's just what it is. You get the books, read, study.
Man, my cat is sitting here looking at the screen, listening to you.
All right, because the cat knows.
This is deep, man.
All right, so we get the 3 books: The Science of the Dogon, The Sacred Symbol of the Dogon, The Cosmological Origin of the Myth and Symbols of the Dogons, Ancient Egyptians, India, Tibet, and China. All right, get those books written by Lord Stratton. Get this book, A New Order of the Ages by Colin Boland. This is what he says. All right, so you think that I was tripping because we got it in other books? No, let's go to this book, and this is what it says. The Nomos are a race of beings that take on the physical form of dolphins, whales, and mermaids, mermen. A planet in the Sirius system full of warm aqua blue water was given to them as their home planet. Now we come down. The Nomos are advanced in their use with sound. Many etheric Syrians are incarnated into dolphins and whale bodies on Earth at this time. Well, who else they are in the body of? Because guess what? And they are overlooked by the Nomos, the guardians, once again, guardians of the universe, and guides to these souls. When the Earth ascends, the etheric Syrians are the soul group that will become the guardians. They were given Earth as their new home when their former home, a planet near the star of Sirius B, imploded. All right. So we come down. He says most of the etheric Syrians incarnated right now on Earth are who? In black, red, and brown races. Now, I'm not the one writing these books. These are Europeans writing this. Albions are writing this. Okay? And they telling you who you are. The Dogons already told you that. The history of the Dogon tribes and their alien visitors from the star Sirius, or the Sirius star. And they speak of the Nomos. Okay?
Wow.
Now, we go in talking about who we call Anu, which is another word for Anunnaki. All right, the Anunnaki. All right, which means those who came from heaven to earth. Or in this case, Anu means on high, and Naki means serpent. The on high serpent. This is where you see in the Egyptian crown the serpent or the Uraeus or Caduceus right there at the third eye area. And it says so Anu was known as Kronos, Saturn. Remember Saturn, Onan, the All Father, and many other names, such as Anu was also Sebek. All right, as we see here. So we find that Albert Churchward, Signs and Symbol of Primordial Man, speaks about that the Pygmies are the original and the oldest living people on the face of the planet Earth. All right, they are the oldest.
That's interesting.
We got here before. Now, he's somewhat accurate. They do have A1A, a lot of them, but a lot of them now do also have E1B1A. But the oldest haplogroup in which that they have found actually was not in Africa. That came from a man by the name of Albert Perry, who lived in South Carolina, and he had A00 haplogroup, which happens to be the oldest haplogroup. Matter of fact, 150,000 years older than all of the haplogroups in Africa. And he was found right here in America. All right. So you see, that actually changes the dynamics of the out of Africa theory. If people are paying attention, that is. All right. So it says here the original inhabitants of the Sahara, where the Kemetic civilization originated, were sub-Saharan Africans or blacks, not Berbers or Indo-European speakers. All right. And it goes on. Who are they? He gives you the name. You go to, well, he tells you right here. These blacks formerly lived in the highland region of Fezzan and Hoga until about 5,200 to 4,000 BC. All right. And who are they? They are the Pygmies. He come down and he tell you that around this time West Africa and the Nile Valley was probably controlled by the Pygmies, or who? Or the Anu people. The Anu were the first rulers of Egypt. They was the first rulers of Egypt, the Anu people. So the Twa people name originally was the Anu people. All right. Get the book Return of the Ancient Ones by the Empress Verdiasi Tierra Gaston El Bay. And this is what is in the book. Anu equals the nigger. In the original form, and it stands for divine Negroes, or those who came down to earth from heaven. The Sirius star system is connected to the planet X, which is coming towards Earth. It is already here.
Doc.
Yeah.
Pygmies are the ones who discovered Iboga or
right.
Ibogaine.
That's right. Ibogaine. That's right. Iboga. That's right.
That's deep, man.
That's right. And that's how they was able to see these particular stars and went there. They go to these particular planets. You know, they go into these particular constellations and so forth and so on. On the Iboga. All right. So right here, the Anu people. The Anu people were the first and original people of the epoch of man's history. As the original type 1 Homo sapiens, their time on the dominance extended from around 200,000 years ago to around 25,000 years ago. After that time, another form of man called Homo sapiens sapiens type 2 became principally dominant. All right. This is how the Pygmies look. As you see, they are black men. Get the book Gods and Spacemen in the Ancient West. I thought we was in the West. What are these little Negroes doing over here? Well, you are descended from these little Negroes. All right, from these Twa or the Anu people, hence making you Anunnakian. So here we have by W. Raymond Drake this book, and it says in here that the Pygmies inhabited Earth for 30 million years. That's what's in that book.
Wow.
Right? 30 million years. So you go to Wikimedia Commons, it says African Pygmies are widely known around the world for their small stature and not one tribe, but various smaller tribes that live in Central Africa. Like the other old African tribes on this list, the Pygmies are thought to be descended from some of the earliest groups of humans. So if they lived on the planet Earth 30 million years ago, who was these niggas before them? Several current Pygmy tribes have DNA markers closely related to one of the oldest groups of human ancestors. The Sand people has been living in the southern Africa for at least 30,000 years, and they are believed to not only be the oldest African tribe, but quite possibly the world's oldest ancient race. The Sand, who is also called the Khoisan, or Bushmen, Hottentot, these are all misnomers. The Sand has been the most diverse and distinct DNA than any other indigenous African group. This means that the San are direct descendants of one of the original ancestral human groups. So they already said that if these Negroes was the oldest, then they also had even older DNA, as we see, because there was humans before them. So that means that there was humans more than 30 million years ago that walked the planet Earth.
Wow.
You see how they tell on themselves? This is why that's why I don't go by the books, the academic books. Even though I have a BA in sociology and history, I have a master's in law, a PhD in metaphysics. I don't go by those particular books. I go by cryptic and mystic Freemasonic books and those types of things, because this is where the information is hidden at. Why you think there exists a Freemasonic lore or information? Because they know to put it in the book, they know you're not going to read it. So here, the proof that there was Pygmies 30 million years ago is looking at this fossil. This is a 28 million year old human skeleton from the British Museum. It's in the basement. And this was verified when my wife and I went to the British Museum in 2008, right before Barack Obama became president. Okay. And this is what it says. Human skeleton found in extremely hard 28 million year old limestone on the coast of French Caribbean island of Guadeloupe. That means that there was 12 people already here in the Western Hemisphere, because Guadeloupe is in the islands, the Caribbean islands. In 1812, belonging to a woman about 5 feet 2 inches tall, the fully human Guadeloupe woman's skeleton is complete in every aspect except for feet and head are missing. It is authentic discovery, which has been in the British Museum for over half of a century. When the 2-ton limestone block containing Guadeloupe woman was first put on exhibit at the British Museum in 1812, it was first displayed as proof of the Genesis flood. In 1881, however, the exhibit was quietly taken down to the basement and remained there to this day. Now, what also was told to us when we went to the British Museum is that there was only 20% of what was on top. The other 80% was in the basement. If you wanted to find what was really going on, 80% of your history was hidden in the basement. Only 20% was on the floor on top.
They always putting putting all the good stuff in the basement.
Oh yeah. All right, so I did a DNA test, and this is what happened. We come and find out that I had Bantu, Southeastern. As you see, number 1, number 3, Bantu again, number 4, Bantu again, 5, Mbuti, Pygmy, All right. We come down to number 8, the San people. All right. So the Khoisan, Yoruba people, Bantu people. These are known as the sub-Saharan people. All right. Now we know that sub-Saharan also has been a misnomer. But we look here, Pygmy, San, Sanu, Sandawi. All right. I got those circled. Khoisan, Mbuti, Pygmy. All right. We go to Forbidden Archaeology, but written by Michael Cremore and Richard L. Thompson. This is what Michael Cremore states. All right. He says, and he argues that humans have lived on the earth for millions of years. In case of artifacts allegedly found in the Ecocene aquiferous gravels of Table Mountains, California, and discussed in his book, okay, which is Forbidden Archaeology. And his other one is called The Hidden History of the Human Race. Now I showed you my Bantu lineage at 1, 3, 4, because when we go and study the Bantu, this is what we find, that a Bantu simply means the children or people of Antu. In the event, Africans came to be known as Bantu, meaning Antu's people. Cultural historians actually attest to the fact that ancient Africans revered a goddess more than they did a god. You go to the links to the Sumerian civilization, alternative thought. This is what it says. The links to the Sumerian civilization in southern Africa simply cannot be ignored or erased. They can even be traced to the etymology in the name and origin of indigenous people. The most obvious evidence of the mysterious origin is of the word Bantu, the name commonly used to describe Black, Southern, or South Africans. According to Credo Mutwa, the name is derived from the Sumerian goddess Antu. Bantu simply means the children or people of Antu. Now, as you see here, Bantu people, we come over to the middle, Bantu people, we come on over again, Bantu peoples. All right, so we find out that the closest Bantu people are those who come from out of Kenya. And as you see here, we have a lot of Kenyan, according to their genetic markers. It says, according to DNA site, My True Ancestry, and you have the Anuak people, closely grouped, moderate group, are the Bantu people. So who are the Anuak people? The Anuak people are the Anunnakians.
Wow.
This is no fake picture. This is actually the people, the remnants of the Anunnakians who live here on this planet today.
Wow.
And 70% of us in America are descendants or have the same genetic markers as the Anuak people, who are Bantu people. This is the royal bloodline.
Ye are gods.
Yeah, guys. Now you can see they look just like us here in America.
They sure do.
They don't look like just regular Africans as we have been shown. These brothers and little brother and sisters look just like us here.
Right in Bed-Stuy, I see them.
That's right. So they are the Anunnakians. Check this out. Your closest genetic moderate population, when I put in Kenya, because you seen all that Kenyan, look at number 1. What does it say? Ethiopian Anuak.
Anunnaki.
Anunnakian, that's right. Showing that we are the Anunnakians. This is why the whistleblower claims CIA used DNA data from Ancestry and 23andMe customers in search for aliens. This is why they're searching for the aliens. This is according to New York Post.
The mothership connection is here.
Yes. So we go to the book, The Bloodline of the Gods. Ancient astronauts in the Holy Bible, W. Raymond Drake. This is what he says. A few years later, Abraham was tempted to sacrifice Isaac to the Lord. Only the timely intervention was the angel saving the boy's life. Perhaps Abraham guessed Isaac was not his own son, but the Lord's. Extraterrestrials were known to father many progeny by earth women. Lord, decades afterwards, appeared to Isaac's second son Jacob and ordered him to change his name to Israel and to make his descendants a great nation. It was really accepted genealogy. It means that the children of Israel were actually descended from Abraham, was not actually descended from Abraham, but from Jehovah or Yahweh. A Superman. All right. So you come to find out that the Bantus are those who have E1B1A. That's the Y haplogroup. And 70% of us here in the United States have E1B1A. And so-called black folks. And 50% in Africa. So this symbolizes the fact that the seed was made large. All right. So here we find out, but not just Abraham, we find out that Shem, because guess what? Those who are E1B1A means that we are also Shemites. We not come from Ham or Japheth. We came from Shem. And this is what it says. These are records, the generation of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and became the father of Pashashad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived 500 years after he became the father of Pashashad and had other sons and daughters. According to verse 11, Shem lived 500 years after he became the father of Pashashad. This statement indicates that Shem died after 500 years. Therefore, he died 502 years after the flood at the age of 600. Furthermore, if you trace the birth and death of the patriarchs in the seed line carefully, you will find that Abraham was born 392 years after Shem. Since Abraham only lived 175 years, Shem outlived Abraham by another 32 years. Therefore, Shem must have been Melchizedek of Abraham's day. So Shem is Melchizedek. Melchizedek is Michael, Mikael, the angel who dares to be like God. All right.
Man, this is amazing.
His name in Arabic is Al-Qadir, the green one. That's who Shem is, the green one. Yes.
The green one.
Yes. So Shemites have E1B1A. So we are direct lineage. We are in the direct lineage of Shem, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, E1B1A. Okay. And so right here it says Shem must have been the Melchizedek of the Abraham day, since he was the oldest living patriarch in the line of the seed promised when Abraham was alive. All right. Now, as we see here, number 1 is Limba, 2 is Bantu, 3 is Mandinka, 4 is Sub-Saharan, 5 is Yoruba, 6 is Biaka, Pygmy, 7 is Ethiopia, 8 is Jew, Ethiopia, 9 is Jew, Ethiopia. This is my DNA lineage. Majority of all of these lineages point back to E1B1A.
So that means you were ET, my brother.
One of them. 70% of us are. So, you got a large population of ETs.
Yeah.
Therefore, since lemma is my closest genetic moderate link, this makes me a Hebrew Israelite by blood or of Judea or Yahuda, tribe of Judah. It is from this bloodline that Jesus the Christ, Yeshua Mashiach, will return. And Levi, priest, tribe of Levi, ascend. Notice too that the 8th and 9th closest is Jew Ethiopia, or so-called Black Moorish Jew of Ethiopia, meaning I am of the Phalasian, Beta Israel ascent as well, which is Yahud or Judean, Levi, and or Dan. So when I took a test from Anthro DNA, this is what it says, that it is E1B1A, which is a subclan 1A1C1B, which is a subclan of E1B1A. Who else has that? Well, we see that the Pharaoh Ramesses III, the patriarch lineage is Ramesses III. He has E1B1A. Now, when I went into the royal breakdown on my true ancestry, we find out that Ramesses III, I'm related to him by 96.1%. Okay.
Wow.
So another thing that we find out is that those who are part of the E1B1A haplogroup, they also have a blood type. When you go and do the research on the Shroud of Turin, they tell you that the Shroud of Turin is AB positive. So we find out, according to this article by C.A. Bruff-Hiller, it says, written in 2006, the AB positive blood type in Israelites is incredibly special. It is also present in the 144,000 warrior angels and the sons of the Most High. So we read this. The blood type in forest. We are the 144,000 original DNA beings. At least 95% of the population who has blood type O or A, which are the thinnest bloods and lowest blood value. The blood type B have copper deficiency due to slow poisoning from blood thinners, alkaline and chemicals, copper binders, and copper antagonistes, and that has saturated the food and food chain with. These poisons have altered and damaged the protein, DNA of the blood, and other tissues in the body. Copper is essential for the formation of normal human protein, that is, normal amino acid sequence, in that it provides a balanced pH state for the blood and tissues. Copper is acidic at a pH of 5.5 and is important in providing a balance of the numerous alkaline and acidic nutrient minerals. A balanced pH is present in blood type AB, which is the only normal blood type. Consequently, because of generations of poison, the vast majority of the population has malformed protein and is missing normal protein. All right. And it says, as we can be evidenced just as the blood properties as noted in different blood types. The blood types of A, B, and O are missing the normal clotting proteins. Type A is missing B, B is missing A, and O is missing both A and B protein, or antigens or sugars. The rhesus factor D antigens is a malform or variant A or B protein resulting from insufficient copper levels. In other words, there is no such thing as the rhesus monkey factor. That is some bullshit that the Europeans did back in the 1920s in order to state that we came from monkeys, but yet we don't have Neanderthal genes. So how is that possible? Meaning that we didn't come from no monkeys.
Yeah, they got the Neanderthal genes.
Exactly. We know they got the Neanderthal genes, as well as also they grow tails. extra vertebrate, in which that, yeah. So the blood type AB is balanced and therefore does not carry the malformed rhesus factor protein. All right. Sorry. All right. So, alien contact cover up mysterious triangular aircraft spotted hovering above Pentagon. This is how it looks. We also found one here hovering above the pyramids. These triangular shaped pyramids. All right. That's a Syrian craft. This is also another Syrian mothership or craft. As you see, Grumman F-14 Tomcat was trying to go after it. Yeah, come on. Anyway, the Syrian ships are seamless because they are made of liquid metal. They are organic and sentient transporting vessels. View portals appear and disappear on command. All right. So this is, I spoke about, this is in Coney Island when I was 9 years old, and I seen a UFO hovering over top of my head, about 100 yards up over top of my head. And that building in which that you see, the last one here on the left-hand side, that was my building where I lived at the time in Coney Island. And this is the street in which that actually it happened on. I think it was the 31st Street in Coney Island. And this is another, as you see, basically the same ship. And this craft was seen in New Mexico. All right. Peralta, New Mexico. Now, this is the same type of ship that I seen at 9 years old. And the lights around it were in the colors of a rainbow. After that happened at 9, I told my mom, yo, I need these books. It's called the Time Life magazine books. And one of the books was called UFO Phenomenon. And I had to find out what the hell was going on planet Earth. Because I seen derelicts in the streets at 9 years old. And I knew enough not to talk about this until I was ready. And I was prepared. And I could prove what I was saying. This right here is a written script of alien technology or alien writing in which that was given to me from a brother named Jeremiah in 2003 in Atlanta, Georgia. He said, once I get more in depth as far as the writing is concerned, I will be able to translate what is actually being said on this writing. All right, now we go to man-made UFOs, 1944 to 1994. Man-made UFOs, World War II, secret legacy. These are some of the issues in which that you have, in which that you don't know if you're seeing a real ship, or if you're seeing some made-up shit from the United States government. All right, because they've been working with it, as you see here, since 1944 to 1994. 50 years of suppression, and we talking about the Roswell crash. And so they supposedly engineered these crafts. All right. Now we get the book Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. He says this Project Bluebeam has been reported as a secret government conspiracy to convince the masses slowly over time through conditioning that aliens are real and visiting our planet. A part of the Iron Mountain report, supposedly commissioned by the United States government at the earliest 1960s. The possible alien threat scenario was envisioned in the report as a means to unite the masses together against an alien invasion. Slowly, the masses have been exposed over time to the possibility of aliens inhabiting our universe. All right, we've seen Star Trek, Star Wars, everything you can think of.
Independence Day.
Independence Day, exactly. Right, or both of them. The ones from the 80s and the one from the mid 2000s.
Predator.
Or the early 2000s, yeah. Predator, exactly. So whenever you see any object in the sky and it has a blue streak to it, that is Project Bluebeam. All right. Some of strange light, blue lights, that's Project Bluebeam. This is the mystery in the sky. It's not a mystery to me, it's Project Bluebeam. All right. And then of course get the book Vamana, Flying Machines of the Ancients. So not only do we know that the Albion has worked on ships, but we know that we had ships in India and all over the world years ago, hundreds and thousands of years ago, Flying Machines of the Ancients. This is by David Hatcher Childress. And this is also on what we now refer to as in Abydos, Temple of Abydos, Seti 1, at the top beam portion, you would see these particular carvings or hieroglyphics or Metu Neter, all right, flying machines in ancient Egypt, all right. They already had the helicopter, already had a ship, had submarines, already had aircraft similar to like what you see on Star Wars, okay. So we go to Saturn. Now Saturn has this hexagonal shape on it, in which that symbolizes the hexagonal shapes here on planet Earth, such as the Kaaba and the various ones that you see here. There's also a black box in which that is floating in the sky right now. If people have ever seen that, if you don't believe me, look it up. All right, that is part of the programming system in which that these Jewish people have, and they use on their heads during the Sabbath, as you see here, as well as Muslims go around this Kaaba 7 times, and then they kiss on the wall, the Kaaba, which is a black stone, a dark brown black stone, in which that they allege that from the kissing, all the sins of the world of the Muslims went into it. All right. That's a lie, but this is what they say. Now, coming back to Sirius, which is 20 times brighter than the Earth, Sun, and over twice as large as the Earth, we come down and it says that Earth shares a negative polarity with Sirius and is psychically influenced through the 3 pivotal planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn. Remember Saturn. Saturn is known as the planet of discipline and responsibility in astrology. Those born under the name of Saturn are often ambitious, responsible, strong, and courageous people. There is a distant planet, a limitation and restriction. It is also a planet of wisdom, all right? Austerity and self-discipline. Saturn is a strict teacher who specializes in challenging lessons that often requires hard work and perseverance. Take this as an opportunity to learn about yourself and what can be accomplished when you work hard for something you truly deserve. Now, that is the science. Now, this is where we get really interesting, because we go to the Holy Bible of the Old Testament and Genesis 6:1. Now it came to pass that when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, daughters were born unto them. The sons of God saw the daughters of men, and that they were beautiful, and took the wives from themselves, all of whom they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. All right. Then, of course, by the time we get to David, it went down to 70 years. All right. These were giants on the earth in those days. And also afterwards, when the Son of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Right. This is similar to what was found also in the lost prophet of the Bible, Enoch, the Ethiopian. All right. I believe you made mention of his name during the
opening.
During the opening, right, of your libations. Mm-hmm. Right. So here, chapter 6. And it came to pass that when the children of men multiplied, that the days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters, and the angels, the children of the heavens, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, come, let us choose out us wives from among the children of men. Now, they're not telling you where these sons of God came from, all right? But they came from Saturn, all right? They came from Saturn. Get the book, The Ansar Cult, The Truth in the Ansarullah Community in America. And he speaks about the 200 fallen angelic beings in which that came down. Now, metaphysically, one part is symbolic to the fact of these 200 fallen angels are symbolic to the 200 bones in your body, all right? Or angles of light. Now, we continue on. These skeletal figures, because you had the Watchers. These are the sons of God who were the Watchers. They was from the planet Saturn. Okay, from the planet Saturn. And these skeletal figures represents just a few giant human remains on Earth and documented in the historical records, along with the historical accounts of Goliath. All right. And it says the giants in these days after Noah were anywhere between 16 to 35 feet tall. And the giants before the flood were anywhere between 50 to 100 feet tall, if not more. All right. So here is 6, 15, 8.6, 10.6, 12 feet, 19.6, 23, 25.6, 36 feet tall. All right. They have found all these skeletons. All right. Then you go to the book, Remember Who You Are by David Icke, and he speaks about Saturn. Saturn was often symbolized as the eye by the ancient, and that is likely origin of the all-seeing eye, one of the major symbols of the reptilian hybrid bloodline network. Okay. Now, he come down. The moon amplifies. Hold up. Let me go here. The eye is almost certainly Saturn back in the waveform information broadcast from the center of the galaxy, where the sun broadcasts a fake reality into the solar system. The moon amplifies this and beams it specifically at the Earth. The fantastic synchronicities between Earth, the moon, and the sun in size, geometry, and position are all made possible by the moon. These synchronicities are connected to how the sun information is hacked by Saturn and the moon. The moon is where it is because it was specifically placed there. Visible light and the electromagnetic spectrum that science has recorded in the matrix, the false reality, and God said, let there be light. The speed of light, which we are told the fastest speed possible, rubbish, is the vibrational walls of the matrix. We are not even living on the earth as it really is. Some of it is original, but there are many holographic implants that change it from our perspective. The matrix broadcast block humans from perceiving what we would otherwise be experiencing. So the moon and Saturn in conjunction creates this matrix. It's called the sun and moon matrix, transform a once vibrant conscious humanity into a computer program decoded cycle for the repetitive, perception and behavior. All right, so we come down. All right, because we spoke about junk DNA. Check this out. The Earth crystal core, which has, through the reptilian brain, had been tuned by the matrix frequency range, and the hack connects with our, through the reptilian brain, and the receiver transmitter system that we call DNA. This brings us back to junk DNA. And what Professor Sam Chang is reporting to have said earlier, that the overwhelming majority of human DNA is an off-world origin, and the extraterrestrial junk DNA merely enjoys the ride, which hard work, active genes pass through the generations. He is quoted as saying what we already said. So here we have Raleigh Martin, and he described the 7 types of extraterrestrials in which that resides in a mothership near Saturn. All right. He says you have the Bavarians, the aliens who had the most interaction with Martin. Then you have the Tarsessians, who are the Melvich reptilians. In other words, bad reptilians. The Yeans, who has a bony, leathery appearance. The Dorians, who resembles blonde hair and blue-eyed humans, who they of course refer to as the Nordics. The Insectalians, the Insectitians, or the Insectoids, aka the Screeds, who are smart bugs 5 feet tall. And then you have the Neptilian, the Neptunians, who are water people and were underwater bases on Earth. Then we have a 7th race of aliens whose name Martin couldn't even pronounce. All right. So we go here to Norman Bergman, and he's being interviewed, and he's the creator of the book Rainmakers of Saturn. And in the book, he speaks about the fact of that there was 7 feet tall black people. All right. Saturn. This is his book here. And he's from NASA now. So this is a NASA man telling you this. All right, this is infrared photograph of one of the gigantic ships, as you see here. And this is one of the ships in which that Raleigh Martin was talking about, which that was in Saturn. This ship was actually photographed by the Hubble telescope in the rings of Saturn. And this picture was put inside of the book of the Rainmakers of Saturn by Norman Bergman. All right. These supposedly be the entities from the voyage captured. Of course, he said that they were 7 feet tall black. This don't look like black to me. So this here must be more of a actual picture. Then we have Tiamat, Earth, Meldick, and Malona. Get the book, Other Tongues and Other Flesh by George Williamson. All right. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, there was another planet in the solar system about the size of Earth, which made it orbit between Mars and Jupiter. It was a green, prosperous world inhabited by a people who has not reached a state of really advanced culture, but had nevertheless obtained a stage which afforded a abundance of necessity, which made life comparatively comfortable for all. All right. They studied the philosophies and dabbled in the sciences as do we, except that these people were more advanced in many ways than we are. The planet was so highly mechanized that robots took care of all of the menial tasks. Sound familiar? That's it, what they're trying to do now. The inhabitants have discovered a rudimentary form of space travel and could control their weather so that the drought, famine became long forgotten. The majority, having an abundance of food and having no menial tasks to perform, soon became content in wild ways to time in the sun. They became, in comparison with higher planetary culture, a selfish, lackadaisical people seeking after their own enjoyment, as we do majority of people on Earth today. All right. So what happened is that they exploded a hydrogen bomb and completely destroyed the planet Moldic and murdered the whole populace in one blinding flash of searing flames. All that is now left of that beautiful planet is the asteroid belt. Here's a picture. All right, so get this book, From the Moon is Hollow and Aliens Rule the Sky. All right, we find out that the reptilian military base is inside the hollow moon. All right. Also, we find there's a ship in which that allegedly was found on Mars, in which that is 1.5 billion years old. All right, this was a black woman body who was found on the moon. They would never talk about it. but we talking about it right now. This is her. All right, 1.5 billion years old. Gold-skinned woman spacecraft found on the moon. Golden-skinned sand people, the world's most ancient race traced in DNA studies. All right, some believe that we went to the moon, some do not. But continue studying.
And
Dr. Deborah
she
Blair
looked
said,
Ethiopian.
right.
Yep, I remember that story. Yep.
Yep.
That was from astronaut. You know, the astronauts always want to tell a story just before they're about to die.
Right. All right. This is a frame from 35A72 NASA image in Sedona, not in Arizona, but on the planet Mars. And as you see here, you see at the bottom right-hand corner is the face. You see also pyramids. All right. The people who existed on Mars prior to this, remember coming to the planet Earth, it was called the Botswana people or the Vadoma people. This is them here. They call the ostrich people for Mars in Africa. Okay, this is them. Now, in order to get that same type of situation going on here, in the new study documents depleted uranium impact on children in Iraq. As you see, they developed some of the same characteristics with the feet being split. This was natural. This was artificially made because of a uranium impact. Look at the hands. All right. Now, you find the folklore of the Kappa. All right. And when you go and do your research, they're typically depicted as green human-like beings with webbed hands and feet and a turtle-like carapace on their backs, a depression on their head, call it a dish, Sarah, retain water, and it is, and if this is damaged, liquids is spilled and the cap is severely weakened. So what is this? This is coming from Japan traditions, from their folklore. Now, Michael Zorion, or Terrazon, he says this: Ike claims that the royal family and those of the president and prime ministers are selected like all reptiles and human hybrid bloodline families. He claims that these world leaders are not chosen by the people, but are already chosen according to their bloodline and in accordance with the overall plan of the Illuminati. The Illuminati families are all reptile blood line 2. Okay? And we get to that in a minute. But here we also have Sadactyl, in which that you see the webbing in between the toes as well as also the legs fused together. This is the merman. This is the remnants of those traits. Web toes refer to the toes in which that tissue between them. All right. Mostly now, this is the one in which that we still have, which is right here in between the thumb and the fingers. Apes do not have that because we find out that the dolphins are our ancestors, as I said earlier, keepers of the lost knowledge and healing wisdom by Frank Joseph. He says this, look at the top of your notice that the base of your digits are separated by small membranes of skin, most notably between the base of the thumb and the forefinger. Although resemblance to a human hands are apparent, chimpanzee, gibbons, and gorilla hands all lack such membranes between their fingers and thumbs. The inner phalangeal articulations that has never possessed, but we still do, or the remnants of webbed being gradually phased out because it was no longer needed as a swimming aid after our ancestors foretook sea mammalhood for life on dry land. Okay. Here's an example of us being in a sac of amniotic fluid outside of the womb. So we were born in an egg, as you can see. All right. So right here, we also have the soft spot on top of the head where it says that the soul enters in at, which is called the fontanelle, which that also flows of the DMT. That is the same as you see the soft spot on the top of the head of the dolphin, in which that breathes through. All right. Ours is known as the pranic tube. All right. So this blowhole is the evolved nose that has moved upwards from the fourth center of his ancestral face to the top of the head. A dolphin can expel air from his blowhole at speed greater than 100 miles an hour. All right. So this is also showing you the connection. Also, we have a brief history of African click words. Africans click. We have the Niger Congo family, most notable Zulu and Xhosa and the Khoisan language. They all have clicks in it. All right. Well, who else has clicks? Oh, the algorithm distinguished 7 distinct clicks of the dolphin language. So this shows you that we still kept the language, some of the language, as we came onto the dry land from out of the waters. Remember, I told you earlier, that the original keepers of the planet Earth was those who dwelt in the water. There was the merman, mermaids, the dolphins, and whales. All right, so dolphin genes hold clues to animal intelligence. In fact, 87% of dolphins have the same DNA as we do. The greater part of the human body is identical to the composition of seawater. And we know that because the first thing they do when you go to the hospital, they attach saline solution to you. All right. Renee Quinton discovered that the made up of the human blood serum and the mineral makeup of seawater are unusually similar to one another in all aspects except for the salt content. In fact, they are 98% the same. 98% the same. All right. So this is why when you have a water birth, dolphins can actually come. If you do it in the ocean, dolphins will actually come and put sonar onto the child and the mother in order to make the child come out easier. All right. That's another story. So now we also have the reptilians. I don't have too much left, y'all, but stay with me. We coming. We trying to bring it to you. All right. So we have the reptilians. We have the tailless reptoid. We have the Draco, and we have one of the types of the reptilian hybrids who are known as the Greys. All right. Now you get this book. You come to power only when you come to a point. This is written by Dr. Suzar, and she speaks about these reptilian hybrids who are further controlled by the Chitahu, all right, the Chitahu or the Chitahardi, all right, which are names mentioned by Creedom Mutua. This was on Fox News, and they actually said dinosaurs in space. Study, space aliens might resemble super intelligent dinosaurs known as who? The reptilians. Here we have the god Ras Ben, and he says reptilian humanoids are living in this secret underground empire which consists of alien culture and lost civilizations. The reptilians or reptoids are scaled bipedal beings up to 7 feet tall with muscular builds and 4-fingered hands and almond-shaped eyes with slits that may have evolved on Earth in a parallel evolution, and their presence explain many of the myths of gods walking among humans. The Earth was originally a reptoid-dominant planet that was intelligent and human, highly developed. Reptoids are conjoined words defining reptilian humanoid beings as the most popular name used to describe these cryptid beings. Although some authors or refer to them as dinosaur, dinosaurin, lizard folks, or lizard men. All right. Other names include draconian, saurian, and saurinoid. Saurinoid. All right. Has human attention has been intentionally misdirected away from the underworld towards deep space. So the subject of the underground earth, dwelling reptoids, and lost ancient civilization can remain secret. So this is why they come on Fox with this dinosaur and space shit, because really it's underground. Right? Get the biggest secret book, David Icke, Aliens World War, Reptilians Plan to Divide and Conquer the Human Race, by Lynn Caston, and The Secret History of the Reptilians by Scott Roberts. All right. Now, y'all might know who this is. All right, this is David Wilcock, and this is what he says. One of the races that Smith discussed in length in his July 10th interview with David Wilcock on the Cosmic Disclosure come out today, y'all. Y'all know that, right? The movie Disclosure. All right. Of reptilians who has said he encountered while working at classified facility. David, I find it very interesting when we look at the Indian history in the Makarabata, and the Vedas, that we have what appears to be an evil reptilian race called the Rakshasa. But that there also was a benevolent reptilian race called the Nagas. Niggas, you get it? That they eventually ended up making temples out of. All right, reptilians and Aquafinians. All right, read that. Benevolent Reptilian Society. All right, actually, this is who we evolved from, the Syrian beings. All right, then you have the reptilians, talked about by Jordan Maxwell. This is also spoken by Robert Morning Sky, and who's Apache and Hopi Native American. And this is what he says: the reptilians took this world away from the keepers. Who are the keepers? If you don't know, that's us. It is the keepers who wore reptiles to gain back this world. The keepers are the Syrian reptilians. The reptilians are the gray Regilian draconians, and that the keepers were free man. All right. In other words, our job is to free man, not to incarcerate them. Acts Midnight. The elder looked at Midnight. Robert Morning Sky. He says the first man was the black man. In fact, Egyptians. Thus, many of those were not. Refer to themselves as the black-headed or black-foot people. They were the original black feet or foot, but they remembered long ago they were black. All right. Now, when you get a cat, if we talked about this earlier, Brother Hank.
Yeah, he just jumped up in the chair when you said it.
Oh yeah, this the part he want to listen to. He ready for this.
Yeah.
Right, so narrow pupil signals an aroused cat. All right, this is an aroused cat. That's why the eyes go slit. All right, an arousal can be caused by many things: anger, fear, pleasure, primarily. These emotions can result in the sudden contraction of cat pupils so that they become narrow slits. This is the same thing that happens in some people. You might see that if your cat encounters a catnip mouse and prepare to attack it, even the smell of catnip itself can cause arousal in a cat. All right?
Oh, yeah. My cat loves him some catnip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So we see right here, eyes go slit on the individual who say that she got a person inside of her, a little boy who wants to come out.
She got cat eyes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Who is that? That's that rapper.
That's Nicki Minaj. That's right.
That's the rapper. WAP.
Yeah, yeah. And she said she got a little boy inside of her that wants to come out. All right, y'all know who this is. This is Rihanna. And look at those eyes. All right. All right. This is a female who was on a porn site, and her eyes literally went like this. She was enjoying herself. That was the pleasure. And her eyes went just like this. Okay. This brother here was giving the news, and look at that tongue.
Damn.
All right. And we have many Europeans whose eyes go like that. Everybody from Brad Pitt to his ex-wife, and I can go on and on and on. George Bush Senior. You know, we know that he was in the Epstein files, eating children. You know, so yeah, we got these things going on here. All right, so here we have the reptilians, and of course they like to attach themselves those who are earthbound, because after their physical body dies, they have to attach themselves to a person's organ field to control the person as much as they possibly can. And the so-called Jews, all right, Jewish people, they have a tendency of wanting to be the vehicle for these type of this is why they call themselves the chosen people, because they are the main progenitors of this type of attachment. This is why you find them controlling Hollywood, controlling the music industry, controlling the porn industry, controlling all these particular industries, because they are the ones who have these attachments the most. All right. Wow. Europeans, the Albions, or those who have light, very, 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 very pale skin, have these particular attachments, because, and especially if they're Rh negative, all right, if they're Rh negative, then they are the most easiest to possess.
Yeah, right? I heard that. They're genetically receptive to
right,
underground reptilians.
That's right. That's right. Here's an example. This is Yusef Muhammad, I believe that his name is, and this is actually footage in which that slowed down. We found out that he has a serious reptilian attachment. Okay, you can actually see the reptilian coming out of him. All right. Right, this is a hand in which that, remember, we just seen Ross Ben. He said the hand has 4 fingers. As you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually a hand of a reptilian. All right, get this article, The Dinosaur and Humanoid Dinosaur, January the 14th, 2012. All right, Dale Russell, this is him here, and he speaks about if the reptilian, or if the if you had dinosaurs, and if they was such as the Troodon, as you see here to the right, if they were allowed to, because remember, they allegedly got destroyed off the planet 65 million years ago. We find that's not true. That if they were still allowed to evolve, they would have evolved into a humanoid shape such as this here, bipedal, all right, 4 fingers, and humanoid. Get this book, Who Lies Sleeping? The Dinosaur Heritage and the Extinction of Man by Mike McGee, Dr. Mike McGee. Okay. Now, for those that say, oh, some of this is whack. Well, hold up. Go back to Creda Mutua. Creda Mutua talk about the reptilians or the Shittahari. All right. He spoke about them. Matter of fact, he drew them. This is his drawing here to the left. I mean, to the right. All right.
Yep.
And then we have black women killed reptilian in the South in the 1950s. This is based on a true story. And you can actually go and listen to the the granddaughter of one of the ladies who did the killing of a reptilian in the 1950s, and she speaks about it, of what her aunt told her. Not granddaughter, niece, excuse me. The niece, all right, of what her aunt told her about them killing a reptilian. Okay.
Wow.
Then we go to reports in the category began in the 1950s, and the most notable in 1955 was a report from the Ohio River near Evansville, India, where a creature left a green handprint on the swimmer's leg. Older reports include reptilian devils 10 feet tall with glowing red eyes in the 1940s in the Ohio Valley, and reported occurred throughout the area in Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio on both sides of the river. Similar sitting and experiences have been reported in the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle. Okay. Even coming out of Kentucky in the 1970s. Some reports are older, and the native traditions are also older. There are also similar traditions both in South America, where the movie Creature from the Black Lagoon was supposed to have came from, and in Florida, where it was actually filmed. Then we have Christopher Davis. He encountered the lizard man of Bishopville on June 30th, 1988. Okay. And he wasn't the only one. Go and do your research. A sister who said that she was from a part of a family in which that was reptilians. Now, where these niggas getting this information from? And they damn doing drawings and paintings and all this type of... Because this is true. We don't make this type of shit up. Okay? Then there's another lady, a British woman, claimed that she had been abducted by aliens on repeated visits since she first made contact with them in the 1990s. Samantha McDonald told a skeptical Philip Scorfield, and Jew, and Jewish, I should say, and Holly Willoughby on This Morning, how she had experienced supernatural activity from the early 90s until last year. She described her extraterrestrial visitors as the reptilians and the Greys, who she believed was working together. Don't believe me? Get the book, Lizard Man, The True Story of the Bishopville Monster. All right, written by Lau Blackburn. All right, so, all right, so how do we get humans? Well, we know part was reptilian because it was a reptoid planet, but then we also tampered with the monkey genes, in which that monkeys have tails. All right, chimps do not, monkeys do not, chimpanzees do not, bonobos do not, gorillas do not. All right, orangutans do not. They are tailless. So that means somebody humanized these particular apes, these particular monkey species to become what is called the great ape species. Okay. Ape man, Neanderthal, and a Cro-Magnon man were all results of these manipulated genetic manipulation programs. None of these species were entirely suitable. Okay, that's why they don't exist, or they exist very minimum. Because the Neanderthal actually is who we now refer to as Bigfoot. Okay.
Yo, Doc, I want you to do a book about them dog men, them werewolves.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna do that. We're gonna definitely do that. I don't get a chance to go into it right here, but I got it in my book though.
Yeah, I believe you're gonna do it too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So right here we have Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, and she has breasts, so nobody was playing in the 1960s with no breasts, walking around in no ape suit. All right, this was an actual Bigfoot, right? And scientists will tell you that they did exist. Did Bigfoot really exist? Yeah, they called them the gigantic topicus, and they allegedly became extinct. But no, they didn't extinct. That's just like them always saying that the American Indian became extinct. When you go and check your genealogy, you still here. So Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and Yeti, the abominable snowman, whatever you want to call it, such a giant mythical ape is not real, at least not anymore. This is what they want you to believe. Not anymore. Well, that's nonsense. Because we find this in the 1960s. Walking around chilling. Okay, this is the Roger Patterson 1967 female Bigfoot film. All right, so let me read this part. Sasquatch stories goes back centuries. Tells the mythical giant apes lure in oral traditions of most Native American tribes, as well as Europe and Asia. The Himalayas has its abominable snowman or the Yeti. In Australia, Bigfoot is known as the Yowie man. Bigfoot advocates hypothesis that the primate is the offspring of an ape from Asia that wandered to North America during the Ice Age. They believe that these are at least 2,000 ape men walking upright in North America woods today. I thought they was just I thought they was extinct.
Wow.
This is the National Geographic News by Stephen Lorigen. Okay. Well, we know that Neanderthals, ape men known as the Bigfoot Sasquatch, exist, and here's a remnants of one right here. This is Nikolai Valvo. Neanderthal? Yes. He was a boxer. You can go in
7 feet tall.
Yeah, you can go and see his boxing matches. It's ridiculous. Look at the hair all over the body.
Yeah, 328 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Who want to box him?
A fool.
Look at that head.
Right. Let him headbutt you. All right. So there was interracial cross-species breeding and race mixing. All right. Moderate African population were found to contain genetics from a now extinct archaic species that's split away from the ancestors of an anatomically moderate human over 700,000 years ago. All right, now remember the 12 people was on planet Earth 30 million years ago. So why they keep only taking you back to 2,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 to 700,000 years ago? Because they want you to understand that allegedly you weren't here very long, but yet all of the information in which that we just talked about shows that there was humanoids walking the planet Earth as far back as millions of years ago. In fact, if you go to Forbidden Archaeology, the book by Michael Creedmoor and Richard L. Thompson, he specifically tells you at least 600 million years ago in the Americas.
Wow.
600 million. All right, so different races from separate species. And that's the thing in which that is going on. Okay? So right
He
here.
look like that boxer.
Right.
That's a Neanderthal boxer.
Exactly. There it is. Exactly. So we know Bigfoot is real. We know all these things have taken place. And we know that the royal bloodline actually is the E1B1A. And it tells you right here, and yet E1B1A1 is the very same DNA haplogroup of the Netuferian in Israel and the Middle East tested positive for, along with E1B1B1, which I believe is found in Abyssinia. All right. So E1B1A is found in what we now refer to as Israel. All right. And the Bantu people are descendants of this E1B1A. And so are over 70% of our people here in America and 50% of those in Africa. All right. So I ended it here. This is all I got for today, Brother Hank.
That's all. That's a mouthful, bro.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we had to get it in.
Yo, I got to give you an applause, man. Hold on a second. I got the technology, man.
Okay.
Let me go down here. Hold on. Give me a second. You deserve a round of applause, man, for real. Yeah. And a gong. Let me turn it up. Hold on. You deserve a gong. That was incredible, bro. That was incredible.
Yeah,
family, like, subscribe, share. And what's your link so that people can buy your book? Tell me your YouTube link too.
Right, DrAlimLBay.com. So DrAlimEL.
Let me see if I think I saved it. Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
Dr. Alim L. Bay. Is that it, right? Is it?
Yep.
Kayla still working with you?
Who?
Kayla?
Yeah, Kayla. Yeah. Yep, sure enough.
All right, here's the information, fam. Yep, I saved that, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, somebody said 50-foot woman. That reminds me where she walking around the city saying, Harry. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great, bro. You got a VIP welcome anytime you want to drop anything else, man.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So, family, I want to thank everybody. Oh, you know what? We have Healing Pool Party on Tuesdays, Doc.
Okay.
So that's like a virtual. We imagine everybody sending all their energy to one person at a time. So we give them a healing shotgun. That's on Tuesdays. Got Moorish Mondays with Abdullah Bey, and then we have special guests such as yourself and others.
Okay.
So I want to thank you again, bro. That was great. Great presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, y'all. Have a beautiful weekend. Peace.
Peace.